in the upcoming programs used in the course. And one announcement before that, like the afternoon test, we just have to join. It is like, I don't know what pattern it will be, some programs or some snippets in the sense, some half codes or something will be given. You just need to complete it or find the errors, or like n number of things will be there. So basically it's, I don't know, again it's like graded, or if it's graded then will its marks be like taken into consideration. It's just for your like to become familiar with what type of questions and what type of programs will be encountered by you in the SEM and examination. So it's just for that purpose. And yes, all of like your guys attendance there giving the test is compulsory, and you are allowed to join and give the test without fear. Thank you. Without wasting time, we'll start with break statement. So like before explaining switch and loops, I just wanted to give you like a brief what are break and continue statements. They are crucial. So break statement, so like when a break statement is used inside a loop, so the loop is like immediately terminated. So it ends, and like the control of the program. So while you are debugging, if you can see like the control flow uh, is just at the next statement after the loop. So there is one like example which I have given in the flow chart. So like there is your code, and if it turns out to be true condition, then it goes to the conditional code when a break is used. Just like you can understand by it. The flow. Second, 1 second, I have disturbance. Close the window. Yeah, I hope I'm audible. Yeah, so break, I was telling like there is a condition, and if it turns out to be true, then it goes. But if for inside like any condition or inside loop, if you are using a break statement, then like the flow, it goes after the loop. So it will be useful when you guys like understand when we'll do the concepts and programs of for and switch statement. So and the another one is continue statement. So continue statement is like instead it doesn't force the termination like break. So like in breaks whatsoever is there after that, if we break then the control goes after the loop. It doesn't do like whatsoever things are there. For example, if we have a for loop, if you have a while loop, in that first we are like doing a is equal to a plus 1 or like a plus plus, and then if we do a break, and then for example if we have 2 3 conditions after that, if we are subtracting something from a or whatsoever, after break it doesn't execute the control statement, like directly pass over, and it exits the loop. And but in continue, yeah, so that was what break statement is used for. But in the continue, like it forces the next iteration to take place without skipping like any code in the between. So it doesn't like directly exits, but it like what we say executes the next iteration without like skipping anything in the between. So it goes to the next statement directly, we can say. So I am like not giving any code or stuff with this. We just have the flow chart here because you will get confused. The usage of break and continue. Break, I think it will be required, will be addressed afterwards as we do the loop. There is just a flow chart of the if you have a condition, if it turns out to be true, and continue statement executes the next statement. If it falls, it just exits. Same thing. Then the next concept is switch. So switch basically it's a variable. I think I don't know if you have just like addressed today's code in the assignment or assessment 11 in Arjun sir. So like for that we thought you guys should also know like the switch thing, as it might be asked in afternoon's exam. So there is a switch variable. So switch, the syntax goes like this: there is a switch, there is a n variable. For example, n is just, it may be your like variable of any data type like integer, character or something. It must store a value and stuff. So for example, here if we take it as int n, so we have taken for example a value from user, and the syntax of switch goes like there is a switch, there is a a variable n, and in that there is a case 1 followed by the two dots. Then if you have like entire your condition inside that, like what needs to be done when there is a case 1, and then there is a break statement. So again I told like break statement will be used in such cases, so it will like directly go outside the control, outside the switch statement, and will not execute like your case 2, your case 3, case n, or default or anything. Same thing is the case 2, then it might contain your like structure inside that if you are using, or else it's just like break. And one more important thing, like after you complete like your n number of cases or whatsoever, it is not compulsory, but it's a good programming practice to put a default case in that. So in that it's just like default case you can do. For example, if you are like checking, let's say n is a number entered by user up to 1 to 10. If you are checking like case 1, so case 1 will be like if n's value is 1, it will execute and it will print. Same, it will go till there. And for example, if someone entered like 11 and you are not checking it, then it's necessary like you to tell in a default or whatsoever, like if our condition fails, not condition, if like we do not get the stipulated output, then we use to put a default statement for caution purpose. That's it. It's again mandatory. It doesn't have like compulsory. It needs to be put. It's not like that. So again, like the example which I told you is 90 x value, like they've taken as 2. It will go inside the switch case, and of course, like you can see, the thing that will execute is like it will go inside case 2, and it will be like choice is 2. So it will break and it will print it. Default again, as I told, like anything except that is that thing. And that's that for the program. I hope switch case is understood. We'll do like complex programs afterwards, but switch case will be more or less used in programs such as like calculator, or let's say you need to find anything, you need to tell like what are the alphabets used by entered by user and stuff like that. So any doubts until now? Anyone? Yeah. Any doubts? Can you perform a normal switch case program if we give you? Everyone. Hello guys. Not getting replies. I think we'll start with loops. So like for example, loops, the same thing I will start off is like, for example, like if someone, why do we like need to use loops, or what are they useful for? So for example, like if someone tells you to do a task, for example, like print all the characters in an alphabet, then it will be like you are, it's an easy program. You will just use the printer statement and just you will print all the things from A to Z. So, but like to make things easier and like to, what do we say, do it in a proper stipulated manner, we use loops. So like loop is any statement which allows us to like execute a particular block or a group of statement n number of times, multiple times you can say. So for that is the sole purpose why we use loops. It's an important concept. I want everyone to get the basics of it properly. So there are like 3 types of loops. First, I think I will start off with for loops. So before that, I will tell you like there are types of loops are categorized into entry controlled and exit controlled loops. So I will explain you with examples afterwards. So for example, entry control, I will just tell you, brief you that entry control loop are anything. Let's say I will explain you after the concepts, wait, alongside. So we'll start off with for loops. So in for loops, the syntax goes like for, there is an initialization, for example, and which is followed by a colon and a condition, and which is again followed by a colon with an increment. And then we have the statement S. So statement S can be anything, like we want to do a stipulated task, so there will be a code block for that. If it follows the condition and stuff, it will go inside it and execute, and will end the loop like that. So for example, this is the code block which we have used. There is an initialization condition and an increment inside a loop. So for example, like anything, if we can take, if we want to print n numbers taken by user, for, or let's say 10 numbers for now taken by user, then you just have to go like for int I is equal to 0. You can do your condition should be I should be less than or equal to 10, and increment should be I plus plus, because like it will take, so it will take entire number, it will check, it will print like up till 10. And we have a code here, so it's just like more or less the same thing. Here we are printing from 10 to 20. Or let's say I want anyone's help. Can anyone unmute? Rituraj or someone, Dhananjay, Rohan, anyone, Shyam, Sai, Ushan. It's a basic task, just a minute. Just have to tell what this code will give us. Anyone? Will it print from 10 to 20, or from 10 to 19, or from 11 to 20, or from 11 to 19? You have 4 options. Come on guys, you need to make this class interactive at least. Okay, so like I've executed the program. It will go from 10 to 19, because like A we have taken as 10, it goes up to 20, so it is not like equal to 20. So when the control goes to 20, it will like exit, it will not be true, and it won't enter the condition inside the, won't do the operation. So it's just like you have your initialization, you have your condition, which is like A is less than 20, and your iteration A plus plus, or A plus, A is equal to A plus 1, followed by printing like value of A by the number which is coming. Again we have a return 0, terminate, close the code. So that's that for loop. We'll move it towards while loop. So in while loop, the syntax goes like this. So it's just your while followed by a condition. For example, there it was like A is less than 20, followed by a statement. So what are the things that you need to execute if the condition falls true? Then like followed by the iteration, until how many times you want to iterate it or repeat it. So it's just a statement block of it. Take the example, and one more thing here, like we need to initialize the variable before the loop. In for, like we had a facility that we could do it inside the for block syntax, but here we need to do it earlier. Either we take it from user, or if it's a simpler program, we just assign the value. For example, we have done here as 10, so we have just simply done like A is equal to 10. A while loop, inside that, as I said, mentioned in the syntax, we have the condition like A is less than 20, followed by the print statement, printf as usual. We have the value of a followed by the number which satisfies the condition, followed by the iteration which is a plus plus. So again the same thing, it will run up to till 19. The same output will be followed. I hope there is no confusion here. You guys have understood the while loop. There is like one more type which is called so there is one more type which is the do while loop. So for example, if until someone tells you, like it's up to you which type of loops you use in any kind of program, like there is no harnessing to use a particular stuff, and so it's up to you whatsoever you find it beneficial you may use. But generally when you will do the programs you will find out a way, like you will at least differentiate like what to use for better like flow of the program from while and or for. So you will differentiate between them as you practice programs. It will be easier for you guys. The next stop for learning is like do while loops. So in that the syntax goes as do followed by the statement s, and then there will be the iteration, and then after the closing the flower brackets of do, there it will be the while followed by the condition. So more or less you can see it's like different from while loop, but it's like completely different. So you have a while and a condition here. It's a code block for it. I'll explain you afterwards after we run this program what it is used for that. So here we have a main. We have again taken a is equal to 10. As I said, we have to initialize it before we start the loop, before the do while block. So we have a do, inside that we have a print statement or whatsoever execution we need to do. We have a iteration followed by, after closing the brackets, followed by a while and the condition inside that. And we have a return, so it will again print the same thing from 10 to 19. So the thing I was telling you was about entry controlled and exit controlled loops. So it is that like for and while are entry controlled loop and do while is your exit controlled loop. So the thing they have differentiated them is like, just a second. Yeah, so as we can see in for loop and in while loop, if the first bit of condition or the statement, if it's true, then only it will execute. For example, if our age value is 10, and if we are in condition, if we are checking that age value should be lesser than 5, then it won't execute a particular, it won't execute, as like we can see that the condition won't like be true in the case of either of them, either for loop or while loop, and it won't execute, it will directly go out and it won't run. So like for here at least it checks like the condition in for loop in the case of while loop, and then it executes based on if it is true or false. But the case in do while loop is that in do while, like if you check the syntax or the flow of the program, after the do there is a statement s, so at least one time it will execute, then it will check the condition like if it follows or not. For example, if we have, again I said, if we have taken a's value as 10 and if we are checking or in the condition it is like a's value should be less than 5, then first time it may print the first statement like whatsoever you have asked here to do, and inside the statement block it will print it first time, and from the next time it will check, like it will iterate, but it will not like print 11 or so after 10, because it will again like fail short in the condition of a is less than 5. So there is, this is the only difference between do while and while loop. So So it is called an exit control loop, and at least one time the statement will execute, then it will check if it's true and false, and then it will execute accordingly. So this can be said one short disadvantage of do while loop, but still there are some cases and some programs where you need this kind of flow and we use it. So it's completely up to you guys. So the next interested topic which will go forward is the nested loop. So more or less we did like the basics of this, and you will practice like codes which are like fun codes which are complex afterwards as we give the programs. But like it won't be like limited up to whether you are running a for loop or a while loop or do while loop and executing, and that's it. So there might be some complex programs in which you need like nested loops. So nested, as you guys, I am sure you are familiar with the terms. It's like anything inside anything. We had like nested ifs and stuff. Same thing goes inside for your loops. So can be done like you can do everything like nested for, nested while, nested do while. It's up to you. For example, the same thing goes. We'll take the case here of for loop. So again, it will have the initialization, condition, and your increment. So let's say you are taking I is equal to 0, I is less than n, maybe n is some number taken given by user. You are doing a I plus plus, you are taking a j is equal to 0 and tj is equal to 0. Taking again j is less than 0, j plus plus. Then there will be a statement which will execute after the second, even after the second block of the loop also turns out to be true. And then there might be a statement which will execute like if that's not true. So the structure will go like this. As you can see, the statement will only execute if the for loop above that turns out to be true. This will, this is the statement outside it. So it is based on the loop which is above side. So we have a simple program for nested loop. Just taken a snippet like, so it's just a example case in which a nested for loop is used to find the prime numbers that are there from 2 to 100. So in that we just have like an I and j and initialize them before. In for loop we have I is equal to 2, I should be less than 100, as like 1 there is no need in the prime. I should be less than 100. We have iterated it as I plus plus. Same inside the loop. As you can see, there is another loop. J is equal to 2. J is less than or equal to I by j, and it's j plus plus. We have iterated it. Inside it, we have a if statement followed by the method of finding the prime numbers from 2 to 100 will be, you guys can do it. It's just a task. As you can see, I just printed the numbers and checked. So as I told you, inside the loop there is a statement. If I mod j is like not equal to, it's like not prime, or else if j is greater than I by j, it is prime, then it is executing. So the not primes are not getting printed, as we have just put a break statement here, as I explained in the very first use of break statement. So, and to clear that, you can put a tab, so it is inside that, and the numbers which are prime are being printed by the number I, and the term is prime. So I hope this, there won't be a need to explain you. This is a pretty basic program you guys might be knowing. So if you are in case confused of a bit, then we'll start with simple to check on your four functions case. So like how to use loop. For example, if we ask the user to enter a number and check if that number is a prime using our familiar four functions case which we are using. That again I have used an int input. I have declared num, asked from the user, stored it, returned it. I have a method called anti prime that I have declared an I and then cnt, basically as I say counter variable is 0. So counter variable is just like used to, if we say keep a count. For example, for general example, if I tell you guys, then if someone is playing in a game of chess, then there is a clock placed aside with what we say a seesaw like structure. So it just keeps the count of like who has to put on the like points next. So just like that, the counter variable I have taken as I is equal to 2, I is less than or equal to the number entered by user by 2 followed by an I plus plus. Inside that, if I have put an if statement, it goes like the number mod I should be 0, then only it will be the counter's value will be 1. It will break the statement as we don't need to execute afterwards, because it won't be the case. Enter, close the for loop, return the counter variable, and the output like called the num and the counter variable, pass them, and I have checked if the counter's value would be 0 and only it is prime, or else the number entered by user is not prime, is composite. Maybe you can say the same main structure which you guys might be familiar. I think there is no need to explain the structure. So in the same things you can use the loops. This is a very important concept. Either ways, we have codes of the GCD also. You guys might be familiar with the concept to find a GCD. Just for a quick glance, I am showing you how while loop is used here inside this case. I hope that's clear. And like now, I think we are up to a stage where you need to try to execute the programs from scratch and stuff. So today, particularly, I am like dealing with less examples with you guys, as I have been informed by sir that now it's like you have done like close to 25 programs approximately, and you should have the ability to start a program from scratch. So I'm not like explaining the basic concepts purposely. It's up to you to evaluate and start it, and most importantly, practice the programs on loops, which you will get in the activities, or else you can get them from any assignment or anywhere. So it's just for you to play with the loops, all of the kinds in the assignments. So this time particularly also I have not dealt with any assignment which will be followed and explained it. Again, as said by sir, we will go with the approach that you will do them from the scratch. If you have doubts, we are surely here to help. Has anybody put any doubt? And again, as I said, yeah, okay. And again, as I said, like, as you will go on and practice the programs, you guys might differentiate where to use for loop and where to use while loop for a quicker perspective, like quicker use. So that will be, and do while loop, I accept some cases there is, for now at least, don't find a way where you can like use it. Still, we will give you some examples, and you can practice by your own like other programs, and you can just if you have done a program using while, you can just switch using do while and check for your sake of understanding. I hope you guys are not carrying any doubts. This was just a basic introduction of all kinds of loops and the break, continue, switch. Online GDB in my thing that doesn't work from a while. It won't debug. I use a separate IDE for that stuff. Yes? Yes, sure. Yeah, so as we have seen, like many of you guys like are not that cool with debugging. We have explained it multiple times, but still we'll explain in a way because like we find some errors here and there. The process how you debug the code. So kindly have a look.